believe it says anywhere in the statutes, human rights, civil rights, or any of the rights, that it's okay to abuse somebody, stalk, harass, or any of it. But I do believe that there are statutes and mission statements, and that we all have the right to be safe and secure in our own space, and the right to our own shelter and our own belongings. So I'm going to write to you, I'm going to let you know, to the public, that I've already written to you, and to the media, and to everybody, because I want everybody to hear and know what's going on out here. Okay, so you can listen to this. This is a written statement that I'm reading to you, that's recorded, and you can take it from there. Read to you the report that has been submitted to the Massachusetts State Police, the Attorney General, Dennis Police Department, Barnstable County Administrator, Massachusetts Health Department for Barnstable County, General Assistance Program for Barnstable County as well as throughout Massachusetts, Adult Protectives, Safe Harbor Shelter of Massachusetts, and all public and media outlets. I make you all aware in writing on this very day that the evening of Friday, March 11, 2022, there was a contact made to Massachusetts State Police, Yarmouth Department, twice. Calls made to Dennis Police Department as well as requests to management and the owner of the John Edwards Motel in regards to the drunk driver that was continuously harassing and terrorizing at the John Edwards Motel, as well as driving drunk, and he was notably drunk. Mailed to report it to the main Massachusetts State Police, Dennis Police Department, and all others, to include friends and families that witnessed by phone and audio recorded, as well as text messages received from the perpetrator that was reported to be drinking and driving and terrorizing at the John Edwards Motel. Okay? So Saturday evening, March 12th, 2022, another incident where the abuser appeared again at the hotel, flashing lights into a room, playing the music real loud, intimidating and terrorizing, while at the same time blowing his horn and playing loud music. This again was behavior that was committed and carried out after previous incident reported Friday evening, whereas it is noted, audio recorded and witnessed, the male subject took upon himself to enter the motel room of a guest, taking her belongings, threatening her by text message that she better leave, and she should be grateful that he spared her time to leave, and has been heard in conversation telling, as well as putting in text messages claiming that he is a police officer. The series of incidents that took place started the morning of Friday, March 4, 2022. I had made an agreement to the perpetrator by providing rides and assistance to get him on his feet. In exchange for the money he would pay me, into the agreement would be that I would pay my motel room out of the money he paid me, and he would also provide gas money, which he did not do when it was supposed to have been done. I continued to assist the male subject, even though he became verbally and emotionally abusive and controlling, as well as physical control, not allowing me to eat by withholding funds from me to purchase food. He also withheld funds from me to be able to be safe and warm in adequate shelter, as well as he also provided a lesser amount of fuel for my vehicle than he had agreed upon, leaving me, myself, and my service dog, yes, a service dog registered to me, which is verified medical status for me, providing that I am a disabled and abused, considered vulnerable adult that was mistreated and abused by the listed perpetrator, as well as I have PTSD, folks, from domestic violence related to a police officer, okay? So knowing full well, while my circumstances are that I came down here looking for work, be providing that the opportunity for work through conversation never produced the work to satisfaction, and he never paid for my time and effortless work, driving, supplying meals, and advertising for his so-called business, okay? Monday, March 7th, 2022, the perpetrator left the Knights Inn where he had been renting a room and started staying in his truck for the night, as he claims at a park-in ride. He stays there on exit 5. The following morning, he requested that I provide him a ride to work, although he had not provided me the pay for my shelter expenses. He didn't provide for the gas, and he didn't provide for the meals for the days before, knowing full well that he had left me financially burdened after using my personal finances for expenditure to assist him for what was supposed to be a paid job with the shelter expenses. I was duped. I had no choice. Out of desperation and cold, fearing for my life after a series of threats and intimidation by this male subject to try to leave town and made it to Wareham, I reached out in desperation and contacted with attempt to be safe and receive assistance to stay safe through many state and county agencies and officials, to include domestic violence shelters, police, and human resources and human services in Hyannis, that declined to assist, without a doubt, placing me back into the fear and danger of my perpetrator. As a result, the perpetrator agreed to pay Wednesday what he had owed me if I would come back and just try again. Gave him a chance to do the right thing and pay and be the business person that he is supposed to be, noting that he has an alcohol problem, no license, being abusive, but I had no place to go. He told me he would give me the money he owed me so that I could get a room. He did not tell me that he was subjecting me to being abused and terrorized, harassed, and stalking by him. What he also included in that detail was that if I felt threatened, that there was a motel that I could go to and that he's not allowed at. Well, so I took that opportunity, and the lady at the desk told me that he wasn't allowed here. So I gladly paid the rent out of desperation and thinking that I would be safe, explaining to her the situation, and her telling me that the owner wouldn't allow him here after he had formally been told to leave previous to this day for his actions and urinating outside the motel. As I was checking into my room, the perpetrator came across the street out of nowhere from Big Lots. And he told me that he was glad that I got a room and that no one would see him here. Well, I felt very intimidated and shaking inside, and have not felt the same sense of ease since he's done this. Some way, somehow, this male subject ended up with my room key in his hand and never returned it. Once the subject got into my room, he shut the door and told me that he didn't want me outside talking to anybody. He wasn't allowing me to go out to walk across the Big Lots because he was afraid I was going to tell somebody that he was here. I was hungry, and I hadn't eaten in 2 days because I had no finances to do so, for the fact that he had held back money that he told me he was going to pay me for helping him back and forth to work in his advertising, as well as preparing meals for him. Everybody that knows me knows damn well there has never been an agreement for a male subject to stay in a room with me, as I am noted in my medical records to be heightened and allergic to males. I diagnosed with PTSD from domestic violence, and I do not subject myself to males entering my space or living quarters. Wednesday, March 9, 2022, the male subject insisted that he wasn't leaving my room, making me aware there was nothing I could do about it. I have told him on audio record shared to YouTube, harassing me and threatening me and talking very disruptively and provocatively to me after I had requested he stop and to leave me alone. He refused to do so until he realized that I had him on audio record. He still refused to leave the room. Police refused to assist as they have received phone calls and never did anything to assist. I woke up sometime in the night to a weird noise in the bed next to me, and it happened to be, I tried to cover my head, but he, being the perpetrator, lifted his upper body and said that he was having to satisfy himself as he was looking at me because I was refusing him sex and he didn't know why. He then got up and turned on the light as I continued to keep my head covered and was fearing my safety, not knowing what he was going to do as he walked across the room, but it ended up being that he went in and utilized the wash basin for his hands after he was done doing his nasty sexual activity to himself. The very next night, being Thursday night, Matthew entered my room again and refused to leave. I had previously walked over to Big Lots after receiving general assistance EBT benefit and purchased food for myself. As a result of that, and the management as well as the owner and police failing to assist, took all my food, leaving. He had come into my room, he took all my food, leaving me to go hungry again, as well as he refused while he was accompanied by his big butcher knife in my room. He refused to leave, and again, management as well as the other owners. I have called log history that I have made everybody aware, as well as social media, that this is happening. As he laid in the bed by my room, by the door, he was coddling his blade and talking about how his grandfather was a great butcher and how he knows how to carve things up. He was also mumbling to himself, and I once in a while heard the word she repeated. Again, Friday evening, being on the phone with my stepsister, all of a sudden my door opened abruptly and it was Matthew coming through it. Matthew stood over me as I was trembling to back up my seating arrangement where I had been sitting on the side of my bed. Out of fear, I asked for my stepsister to stay on the phone, and I was yelling for him to leave. Nobody at the motel assisted. However, they all stood out their doorway and listened. He then did leave the room. I had to barricade my door with a chair, email the office, as well as again reached out for law enforcement to assist. He smelled a vulgar stench related to what I know to be alcohol. It has been told to me by Matthew that he would sexual favors that he provides to law enforcement and other town officials. Therefore, he can get rid of me if he wants to. And what I better do is that I better just shut
There goes my stalker
and leave town. I also have a text message and showed as well as shared with the public and media threats that came from Matthew telling me that I better leave town, and I consider myself lucky that he spared my time. Okay, due to the lack of response and the fact that I have the right to safety and I'm being abused and it's being allowed knowingly and willingly, obviously, I have call records and logs that will coincide with everything that I affirm here in writing. So with that being said, folks, I want you all to know I request a full investigation into the police of Dennis, Massachusetts, the Massachusetts State Police of Yarmouth, the trooper and officers that were on duty throughout the period of time, and the public, and I would like an explanation as to why this has happened, why it's continuously happened. We also want to know why there are 5 criminal tickets involved on the perpetrator's side, where he has 2 DUIs and 3 other tickets that have not been heard, okay, by Barnstable County as of the time, but by my information, okay, report that I am making, as I have recently witnessed myself as I was driving down the road and pulled into a rest area to utilize it. Matthew caught eye with me, and he drove off quickly after he had been seen getting out of the white car that was parked at the rest area. He got into his truck real quick and left. When I pulled into the parking space on the other side of the vehicle, I noticed that it was a male subject, okay, in a 3-piece suit driving a white car. That right there heightens my concern of level that there is reason behind the fact that I have not been safe and there has not been any contact made by the officials to the John Edwards Motel in regards to the incidents that I have reported. I am familiar with law. I am familiar with federal statutes, as well as I am also familiar to this land, as my grandfather is the founder of Yarmouthport, Massachusetts. He also was a constable and the head of the courts for this county, as well as my step-grandfather was a governor of Plymouth Colony. Therefore, I have high standards and I have high respect and due diligence for this land. I do not expect and I refuse to accept being abused by anybody. The perpetrator is a 33-year-old white male, height 6'4", named Matthew Biagé, thin build with brown hair, brown eyes, driving a white Ford F-150 extended cab two-door with black work toolbox in the back. You will notice that the back of the truck is dented and across the tailgate where he backed up against something as he was drunk. There is also scuff marks on the passenger side rear quarter panel and middle of the truck where, again, drunk driving, he struck another vehicle and took off, according to his story. Also, according to perpetrator and visually seen, it's reported the same male subject is seen throughout the county. He will go into stores such as Stop and Shop, order sandwich meat, and place it into like a veggie bag or even a sliced cheese bag and walk out the door with it so he doesn't have to pay with it. He does it at Stop and Shop. He steals from Big Lots. He steals from Exit 5 convenience store, you know, that truck plaza there. I'm just letting you all know, this is all going to Washington, D.C. Read to you the report that has been submitted to the Massachusetts State Police, the Attorney General, Dennis Police Department, Barnstable County Administrator, Massachusetts Health Department for Barnstable County, General Assistance Program for Barnstable County as well as throughout Massachusetts, Adult Protectives, Safe Harbor Shelter of Massachusetts, and all public and media outlets. I make you all aware in writing on this very day that the evening of Friday, March 11, 2022, there was a contact made to Massachusetts State Police, Yarmouth Department, twice. Calls made to Dennis Police Department as well as requests to management and the owner of the John Edwards Motel.
So there you go. There you have it. You just seen that truck, right? I just showed it to you as he again came in, circled around, and drove out. Because why? He continues to stalk me. So therefore, I want you all to be aware, if something happens to me, you can hold all of them listed accountable. Thank you.